Welcome back to the Travsessed podcast. We're your hosts, Kim and Aaron. We're healthcare travelers and the creators of Travsessed, and we are back picking up from last week when Kim went into DJ mode and our microphones cut off. But we have a lot more stuff to talk about this week. It's our last week in West Virginia. We're going to dive all into that here in this week's episode. So buckle up, just like we will be as we're heading back to Florida.
I like that. That was a good segue.
Flight crew, please prepare for departure.
Okay, so last week it ended up with Kim going,
Dude, I have never felt less unsure, but I felt so rageful when you were like, that didn't record.
Dude.
And I thought it was the entire episode 2, and we recorded for what, an hour?
Hour and 5 minutes.
And I'm like, we just wasted our fucking time.
Oh, dude.
Well, because I was already like exhausted, hungry, all the things.
Which is the worst time.
Exact. And then it's like we sat down, we did. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm glad we did that. And then you were like, oh, and it didn't record. And I just lost my freaking mind.
There was like a point where I literally was just staring at Kim and I said,
you were scared to tell me.
I just said, what is it that you getting mad at me right now? Like, what do you want me to do? I didn't like the microphone was locked at like because I can see like if it's going up and down based off of like if it's red, if Kim's screaming or something, or if I'm talking too loud, and it was just frozen. And so I was like, oh, that happens. But it was still it still says it's recording.
This is what I was mad about, was because when we were chatting, and it's documented because we were recording, and you had this crazy face and you were looking at your computer and you were distracting me and being all weird. So I knew there was an issue. So I said, I asked you like on the podcast, what's going on? And you were like, oh, nothing, everything's fine. And then we kept going.
No, you're right.
So at the end, when you said, oh, actually, it didn't record anything. That's where I got mad, because I'm like, you knew something was off. Why didn't we just pause and you take 5 minutes just to make sure everything was okay so that we're not wasting our freaking time?
Totally agree.
That's why I was annoyed.
Totally agree.
So I unleashed and then we moved on.
Totally.
Now we're back.
Yeah.
We are freaking back. New week, new Celsius.
Yeah, she took mine.
You have a cup of coffee. Like, you drink coffee all day. Like, this is mine.
Coffee doesn't do anything
well,
to
then
me.
why are you drinking it?
Because I enjoy it.
Drink
it is
water.
A joyful experience.
You need water.
I drink water from dinner until 10 o'clock at night.
I've never seen you have water since you've been home.
Bullshit. I've already had my whole thing.
Okay. Well, the Celsius is mine. I also had a little breakdown today, so I felt like I needed it.
Yeah, breakdowns happen. I think kind of picking up, no, I mean, I'm just saying we were going to talk about Everest, but I can tell you
there's nothing to say.
There's really nothing to say
anymore. I don't want to talk about it.
It's super exciting. We're super excited about it, about the host that we are, not the host, but like the company that we're going through, and like they're perfect. We align perfectly with our vision, with like Travsessed. They even said the same thing, that they love that our group is joining them, and they are doing a lot of the planning on the ground. There are fixers on the ground, and so they just believe in the same thing we do, of like getting unique experiences and going into like our guide's home if we want to like cook dinner at his house. Like, they're all for that, and they recommend that, and like it's just really, what do you call it, like a breath of fresh air when you lock in, because we've found that in every country we've been to so far.
Yeah, I think having our call, because we always have like calls with like the team of people that we're partnering with, because we always partner with, like, Aaron and I are obviously, we plan everything, right? We plan the itinerary. It's our vision. It's our like creative process that we go through. And then we always partner with a local company and guides to help. They help us bring the vision to life, right? Like, they handle the logistics. They're like, we can do it this way, or this would be the transportation, all the stuff that we don't know because we're not there. And so after talking with them, we were already excited for the trip, but just like, they've hiked to Everest Base Camp multiple times, like with their kid. They've got 2 little kids. They're their go-to person there who's going to be like our fixer on the ground, like is one of their best friends. And so just the local experiences we're going to have, the learning about the culture, the people, like, and the hike itself. Like after talking to them, I was just like, I am even more freaking excited for this
and
trip.
we're showing up during one of their biggest festivals.
Oh, right.
Of the of all time of the year. And like we get to partake in that, and they're like, the guide is actually excited to bring you in, and like you just ask him and he'll take you like
anywhere
to the local spots to like see the best of the festivals and like his local village, and we're just like, what?
And after talking to them, I had this feeling, because anyone who knows us knows that we're obsessed with Bali, and Bali is amazing for a lot of reasons, but really it's the people. We're so like, the people there are just incredible. If you've been, you know, and that's what
You've been with us.
Yeah, that's true. Like you can go and not have any like real in-depth experience, but for us, a big part of our Bali trip is, you know, immersing ourselves in the people and the culture, and you just see how incredible the Balinese people are, and that's what makes it such a magical experience. Or you're just on another island somewhere, like, you know. And I got the feeling that we're going to feel that way about Nepal. Like with the people and the culture. I'm like, ooh, I feel like this is going to be right. Like the hiking's cool, but I think it's going to be so much more than that.
Well, totally. And I think even Rick and Beck's story of how they fell in love with that area is the same way we feel about Bali. Mm-hmm. Right? And so like we want to go to Bali as much as possible. I want to get like a place in Bali that we have. I want to work with the local people. I want to keep expanding like our reach within Bali. They did the same thing in Nepal.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so similar, the stories.
Yeah.
Of like what happened when they got there. They met the right person. They fell in love with the area, the people, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
And so super exciting. I just think, you know, we were in that week, and that's what makes this podcast special, is we're just kind of like, now we don't even feel like talking about it
anymore.
I'm
like, I'm done over it. I don't even know what the heck we talked about. We went on and on for 30 damn more minutes after that. I don't even know what the heck we talked about.
I have no idea either.
No clue.
Nope, can't remember.
None.
Nope.
So it wasn't meant to be.
Totally.
Here we are.
Wasn't meant to be said.
Fresh week.
In public.
Public. We are, it's an interesting time, because, you know, as travelers, obviously we're so used to packing up and moving from place to place to place to place. Like that's part of our life. But we've been here in West Virginia for so long.
Since October.
And we are, it's okay. So my heart's pumping again. So I don't know if it's Celsius but this is how I was feeling this morning. I just started to feel like really overwhelmed and just anxious, like out of nowhere. Like after my Legree class, I went to the coffee shop and I started my work as I usually do. And as I was answering emails, I just started to feel incredibly overwhelmed. And even just saying it now, we're leaving on Tuesday. We're recording this Thursday. We're recording it. It's kind of like a live. We're recording it Thursday, and we're going to release it right after, because we didn't do it last night. And we haven't done one thing.
We never do.
I know. So I keep telling myself, like, this is our normal. We usually wait until the last couple of days, because everything we have, like, we use. So it's not like we can start packing stuff up. And I mean, I guess we could start to get organized, but we haven't. So I'm just like, it's Thursday. We're leaving on Tuesday. And I'm like, holy shitballs. And it's not just the move.
We're technically leaving on Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday. Okay. So that's good. We have 4.5 days.
Yeah.
But I think, like, it's not just that we're going down to Florida. We're in so we're trying to get as much done as we can, you know, because we're going to Florida for a couple of weeks, and then we're going to run Mexico, and then Greece, and then Everest, and there's just a lot in day trips, and there's a lot going on. And so
6 trips in 4 months.
Yeah. Which is exciting and fun. But like, so today at the coffee shop, I was like, okay, so basically to finish that thought, we're trying to cram a lot in to this time, so that when we get to Florida, we have a little bit more space, so we can spend time with like family and friends and not feel like, oh my God, we got so much to do.
Rest before that.
And fucking rest and get our minds right, get prepared for these trips and to host. Like, there's so much that goes into these trips, you know, leading up to them, like everything. So I was sitting down to like, okay, today, so our first day trip, if you haven't heard, we're doing a Travsessed day trip. The first one, we sent out an email, and on Instagram and Facebook, we did a poll of where's the location. And we're like, we're going to pick the location as the most votes of the travelers that are in that area that be able to come. And then Portland won, Portland, Maine, which I was really excited about because love New England in the fall, right? And so I was like, I'm sitting down. That's all I'm doing today. I'm going to plan this trip. We already have a vision of what we wanted to do. Just got to bring it all together. That's all I'm doing. And I have like 4.5 hours at the cafe before I come home for lunch. And I sit down and I just get into like, first I start answering emails, and then I have other things that need to be sorted out for like Greece and all this other stuff. And like before I knew it, it had been 3 hours and I hadn't even started on what I was wanting to do. And like these things there is a sense of urgency because the day trip is in September, so that needs to be done and out. And then we have our weekend trip coming up. And like, I don't know. And we're doing a Travsessed trip launch week starting on the 9th of August, where we're basically launching 3 international trips for 2025 and then 2 US trips. So we're trying to get all of this done and wrapped up and planned and detailed and pay packages created and everything. And I just felt like I don't even have fucking time for any of this. Like, did we bite off more than we can chew? And I had a little bit, I just felt overwhelmed.
Well, I mean, you've been saying the word bite off more than we can chew every single day.
No, that is not true. That is not true.
Do you want me to read back texts? Everything. Are we biting off more than we can chew? Are we biting off more than we can chew? Are we biting off more than we can chew? I mean, I've
said it like twice.
No, you've said it more than that.
This week, I felt today was kind of the breaking point, but I felt overwhelmed. I want to make sure that we're not biting off more than we can chew.
Okay. So the fact that what is your like mantra in this life?
I don't know.
What do you say about things?
Believe.
Okay, like what else? Like you
one
always,
thing at a time.
What else? Like talking about like we speak into
existence.
Yeah, and like
oh yeah, and then I get myself worked up.
What you've already had like a big thing not too long ago where you were like, I'm so overwhelmed, and like you talked yourself out of that, and I thought that was a pretty like really cool thing. When I was at work, you were telling me that like you stopped saying that because you're sitting in a cafe and whatever it is that you're doing, you're still like doing work that you love, whether it be emails and it got you away from what you were supposed to do and you didn't feel like you completed what you needed to, and you were just finding the appreciation for being in the cafe and being able to even answer those emails and having those issues that instead of like going into the hospital, you're able to like organize and do trips and things like that. So finding the joy in that, and it lowers that, right?
No, you're 100% right.
And I think
need
like
that reminder.
Finding the joy too of like, you know, we just literally got our itinerary and everything done for New Zealand, and New Zealand is probably going to be, I say this all the time, right now shaping up to be one of my most favorite trips ever.
Oh, 100%.
Like that was such an overwhelming and daunting trip to plan, and it's done, and it is better than I could have ever imagined. I mean, it is everything and more.
No, I know, and it always comes together, as we know. And even with the New Zealand trip, that felt like a huge thing because we had a vision. We knew the trip we wanted to do because we basically took our own itinerary, but like we just completely elevated the whole experience and added things in that we didn't do and whatever. It was like a really, really good mix and flow of all the things that we want people to experience in New Zealand, because New Zealand is an incredible country if you love the outdoors. So much adventure, so much beauty, so much hiking. And it's across the world, right? And so our trip's 15 days, because we're like, people are flying across the world. You want to pack in as much as you can.
It's typical Travsessed trip.
Yeah, that's true. Bali's 15 days.
The Patagonia highlight shaping up to 14.
Gosh. these are big trips, big trips. But we always are like, dude, I want to be able to give people the best possible experience because they're only coming one time. No one's probably going to go back to New Zealand for round 2, right? And so anyways, we had this vision. We're like, how are we going to bring all this together? We found an incredible partner in New Zealand, a Kiwi, like local Kiwis to work with to plan the logistics, right? How the heck are we getting from place to place? Because South Island is a big island. It's the 12th largest island in the world. Did you know that? Fun fact.
Nice.
It's on our website under the fun facts. And so it takes a lot.
Wait, New Zealand or the South Island?
The South Island.
Wow.
Is the 12th largest island in the world.
Not combining North and South.
Nope, just the South.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's a big ass island. And so we want our vision was to be able to see as much of that island as we can because we know how different each area is and how amazing it is. But like, how are we gonna cart this group around, right? Like, it's always the logistics that are like the tricky part. So found the perfect partner, planned the perfect trip, and even they were like, dude, this is the best trip that we've ever helped plan. Like, they were like impressed. They were like, this is insane. And they would like send us stuff. We're like, nope, we're not doing that. Blah, blah, blah. We're doing this. Like,
yeah, so
and
they
were
would
like,
send
this
us
is
their
amazing.
I was explaining that to somebody the other day, and I was just like, so we work with these companies, and then they send us their itineraries, and then Kim and I are like, cool, we might do like one of those excursions, but this is what we had planned, so can we make this happen? And then at the end, you know, there's always back and forth, and then it's like we keep taking things out, putting things in, taking things out, putting things in, and then they came back and they were just like, oh my God.
Once we were done, yeah.
This is an incredible itinerary.
Yeah. They want to steal it.
Yeah, they do.
Because it's the best fucking trip.
Proprietary to Travsessed.
Yeah. Because it's like, a lot of New Zealand trips are like only hiking or only
biking.
Yeah, and it's just like, yes, there's so much awesome hiking, but I don't want to go on a trip where I'm hiking every day for 2 weeks. Like,
oh, really?
Oh my God. Okay, touche.
I mean, Everest,
That's
Patagonia,
true.
which
Patagonia is 5 days. But yeah, Everest will be 2 weeks, our first big 2-week hiking trip.
Yeah.
But my point was, New Zealand has way more to offer than just that. So it's like we wanted to do Travsessed style, where it's like there's adventures, there's hiking, there's food, there's wine, you know, like a really good mix of everything.
Yeah, there's like fun nights to go listen to live music in downtown.
Yeah,
and like
we like to do it
together
all.
as a group, and like,
Yeah.
it's like biking and doing it all. Like, it literally encompasses it all. Like, hiking to a mountain hut. Like, I mean, what?
Yeah. So I guess kind of the point of that all was just, even when things feel big, obviously I know we always work through them. We always, like, one thing at a time. And I think, too, it's just because I know that we're leaving, right? Like, and when we're running a trip, we're all consumed, right? And so I know what kind of lays ahead, which I'm so excited about. But then that also takes us out of everything else. And so the only reason why I feel any sort of overwhelm is because of the timeline. That's all. Like, if it wasn't about a timeline, it's like, hell yeah, awesome. We'll get through all this stuff and we'll, you know, like, as we go through it, but there's a cutoff. There's a timeline before we leave for Mexico. We really have to have a lot of loose ends tied up. So that's kind of where I was just feeling like, oh my God, how are we actually going to get this done? But we talked. I mean, it will be fine.
I mean,
one thing at a time.
Yes, we are all encompassed with the trips, but we also have a lot of time, in our sense of time, between Mexico and Greece starting. And so we're going to be in
8 days.
We're going to be in Athens for 8 days. That's way longer than we're ever anywhere.
That's true.
And so that gives us like 3 or 4 days to hammer away at what we need to get done, and still 3 days to make sure all the trip stuff is organized. And on top of that, we can only control one of those because we're going to be in Athens, and the rest of our trip is in Milos and Santorini. So it's not like we can go and talk to those people.
No.
So, we have good amount of time to clean up, like, and get a lot of that stuff done.
Yeah.
But we're also, it's like I said, 6 trips in 4 months, but we're also like planning the Patagonia highlight, Bali, Peru. So it's technically 9 trips. And
Well, yeah, but we're not running those till next year. So,
Right.
But the everything has to be done
In New
and
Zealand.
coordinated and launched.
Yeah.
And Kilimanjaro, but that trip's basically done. Or not, that trip's not done, but it's basically like sold. Like the spots are basically taken for the, you know what I mean? So, but we have to plan it, but it's kind of like, that's not until July, like we have time. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at. I will, and for the past 2 years since Travsessed Adventures has existed, it's it's just you and I, and now that we're doing day trips and stuff, it's like that's the other thing. I'm looking at a board in front of us, and we have a board full of, I don't know, 25 locations, 30 locations on there, that it's like I'm so excited, and there's so much I want to do and so much I want to plan, and I'm like, let's go, 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 which I always love to do. But then you're like, wait, it's like, then I'm like, wait, how are we going to do all this? Like, where are we going to get the fucking time? That being said, we officially just brought on 2 members of the Travsessed team.
Kind of.
What do you mean?
Not 2.
What?
But yeah.
What do you mean? Adam and Aaron?
Yeah.
Those are 2 people, 2 human beings.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Adam and Aaron.
Okay.
We officially, they're hosting
Yes.
our second Greece trip.
Yes.
Which is amazing. So that Aaron and I were running the first Greece trip. They'll come in, and then, because doing back-to-back trips is just way too much for us at this point, and because we have to get ready for Everest, we had to go back home to the States, and then it was a whole thing. So basically, we're going to run the first Greece trip, and then we'll be there in the beginning.
We're also running a day trip in between Everest and Greece.
So, yeah, I was getting there.
Oh, okay.
But the second Greece trip group will come in, and then we'll be with them for the first couple of days, and then we're flying home to the States, doing what we need to do there to prepare for Everest. And yeah, we're doing our Portland, Maine, our first ever Travsessed day trip the weekend of September 28th. So we'll do that. But we have it's the first time we have hosts, which I couldn't be more excited. We trust Adam and Aaron with everything. Like, they're going to add so much value to the trip. It's the same exact trip. It's, Aaron and I have already done all the hard work, but they're going to show up, host, make sure everybody's okay, everybody has what they need, give everybody like a really fun experience, and handle all the back end logistics stuff that is a lot, that people don't see happening. So I'm really excited for them and excited for us. And then also, Adam is helping us plan the first ever Travsessed weekend trip. Mm-hmm. And then we're hoping that expands into them helping us plan day trips and more weekend trips, and having that second pair of eyes, that second pair of hands. And also, they're big, like, campers and outdoorsy people and hikers. And so they have a lot of insight into cool camping trips that we can do in the U.S., which that is not our strength, because you and I haven't spent a lot of time.
We're international. Yeah,
so it's like they're such a great asset, and we're really excited to start working with them. I mean, obviously, it's just kind of getting started. We're not used to like delegating or having any help, so it's a learning opportunity, and just we'll kind of see how it goes.
Yeah, no, it's super exciting, and they're excited, and it's a challenge, and so we've been kind of like working through that as well, of like, just like you said, delegating and kind of our process and how they can be of the most assistance to what we need. And so we're figuring that out, and there couldn't be 2 better people to be able to like work that through with us.
100%.
Which is awesome, because it's not like we are set up like as good as we would like to be, which we'll learn from with them, and it's going to be great down the road, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, they're like our guinea pigs.
Yeah, our cooies.
Yeah, because like our vision from the beginning with Travsessed, especially going into like the day trips, weekend trips and stuff, is like having other travelers in the community involved, right? And giving other travelers opportunities to help plan a cool day trip or a cool weekend trip or host an international trip. And like, we want the travel community to be involved, and And it's not just the Kim and Aaron show. Like, you know, it's obviously Aaron and I don't have the capacity to run every trip, whatever. So that's always been the goal. It was always, we're just like, how can we even do that? And so this is the first place to start. And it feels really good and exciting
Yeah, just the beginning. I mean, like you said, I think you just hit on it, but that's always been a huge dream, is like, how do we provide opportunities to the healthcare traveling community in a really fun, cool way that excites people, and then it just expands within this world of healthcare traveling. And it's like, I couldn't be more excited about that growth opportunity.
Hell yeah.
So
me too, man.
I'm game. But, you know, it's just, we literally had the day trip idea like 2 weeks ago and literally put it into play last week. And now it's like the first one is booked. So you have to look at that. You know, you always remind me of that.
Yeah.
To like,
that's crazy.
To look at that. And now like it went from complete like inception to done almost. Like, I mean, you're literally talking to the people in Portland, Maine to line up this day trip. That happened 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's weird to think about. Yeah. A whirlwind.
And we had just been flirting with weekend trips, and now Aaron and Adam are helping plan that trip in November. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's literally been, since I left the contract, like what's happened in a matter of what seems like 10 years, but like is literally a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So it's just keeping that in mind, right? Like, I think that's helpful for us as we continue to move on.
Yeah.
Throughout all of this. And, you know, growth is beautiful, but it's also can be scary. And, you know, you just got to take it day by day. And it's more than, you know, we're usually lining up one trip here and there and then done. And then one trip and done.
Yeah.
Like, we're literally planning for 9 trips in the next, like, 9 months.
Yeah.
And that's a lot.
And probably more because there's so many day trips we want to do.
Yeah.
In reality, like, I love the day trips though because they're short. It's like one activity. So it's almost like hard because we have to, it's easy and it's hard because we have to scale back, because when we're planning an international trip, it's like so in depth and it's like, oh, we're going to do this and blah, blah, blah. And then with the day trip, the idea is just to go around to different places where there's a lot of travelers, and that the travelers are already there, right? Essentially, it's a day trip. So it's not like people are flying in to Portland, right? And maybe some people will, I don't know. But
that'd be awesome.
For the most part, because it's a day, right? It's one day that's planned. And so going out together, getting travelers together to go do something cool. And so keeping it simple, where like I was planning I'm beginning to plan the Portland, and I have this idea, and then I was like, oh, maybe we could do this. And I'm like, no, keep it simple. It's one day. It's just about getting people together to do something fun. It doesn't have to be that intricate.
No.
And that's something I have to work on.
It will always have a Travsessed flair, though.
Of course.
And that flair is like, Kim and I always look at it as like, what would we do with like a group of people that we would never do on our own? Or like we would, but like it would just be elevated by like a group.
Yeah.
You know? And I think finding that unique thing that most people would not do if they just rolled into Portland.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, that's what we always look for. And it's right now, the idea is epic. I'm freaking
100%.
So excited.
No, me too.
I mean, it's like, think about that. Like, we get to like do a Greece trip, fly home, and then like rest for a little bit, and then fly to Portland for a day to meet up with like a bunch of travelers. And like, I'm so freaking pumped, dude.
Well, and just the fact that they're short and sweet. And that's what I was getting at, is like, I have to, like, these day trips are really fun because there's not a lot of in-depth detail that has to go into every single, where are we going to stay? What's the transportation? And there will be some places that need transportation, like to get out into the mountains if we're going to do a hike and this and that. But for the most part, we can just keep it simple. And I really like that. Gotta bring it back a little bit. Gotta learn how to bring it back a little bit. But yeah, it's, I feel like those are going to be really fun and easy for us to just like bounce around and and then over time bringing in other travelers to host a day trip in a place that they love, that they're like, hey, like, this is a place that I know really well and we could do this and this and this. Like, I'd love to like help plan this and like host it, or could be a co-host or something. I think that's so cool.
Yeah. I mean, my goal would be to put together like a template, and then people could fill it out and submit it, and then that way, like, ideas and stuff are out there, and then we can kind of put our little touch on it, and then they can host it.
100.
It'd be sick, dude.
Yepper. So, that's going on. Next time.
Have we ever talked about our pizza on the podcast?
Oh my God. So I was actually just going to bring this up because I was saying, so I came home today from the cafe. My routine, I work out, go to the cafe till about 12:31, come home, eat lunch. Now at Aaron's home, or your home, you're just...
Yeah, it's me.
You're here.
Yeah.
And so I like walked in, and on the drive home, I was just like, what is going on? Why am I feeling this way? And I just walked in and I was like, I just like need you right now. Like I'm gonna cry. I just like need your hug. And that helped me feel better. But then I was like, what I really need though, and this is what I'm feeling tonight, I need one of your homemade pizzas. And I just want to like watch a show and eat my homemade pizza. Like I feel like that is the thing that's gonna bring me back to life.
Yeah, so we, as you've known, heard on this podcast, we've been like on this healthier, I guess you'd say, lifestyle, and it's been working, and it is phenomenal. I'm at the lowest weight that I've been in a very long time.
Really?
Yeah. I have not been this weight.
I feel like you were like 200 pounds.
No.
No, okay.
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
I mean, no, I'm not, you look amazing. I'm saying I thought that, because you were like the lowest weight, like I thought, never mind.
No, I'd be sitting at 218, 220 and be like, okay, that's fine, as long as I don't get to 224.
Oh, okay.
So like now I'm lower than I've ever been, and then like Kim's getting compliments at the gym today.
Can I just tell that
Go ahead.
story real quick, because that made me feel really good.
Well, you gotta kind of give it a little context
So,
too, which we've talked about.
So yeah, we've talked about like this kind of health journey a couple times on the podcast. You can listen to those episodes, but we've basically cut out alcohol. Like we drink very rarely. I would say like at this point it's been like once a month.
The last time we had a cocktail was literally
your
my
last day, July
day.
3rd. So I don't know what the date is, but
It's almost the end of July.
okay. But that's kind of been what we've been averaging, right?
Yeah.
Over the last couple of months. So really minimizing alcohol, eating super clean. We never eat out. We don't go out to eat. There's nowhere to eat here. Just eating clean, basically. Working out 5 days a week.
No more chicken.
And yeah, like we have a couple chickens left, and that's what we were supposed to have for dinner tonight. I'm like, I cannot fucking have chicken and broccoli. I just can't tonight.
Well,
I don't want it.
I read in a book that it was like you pick 4 meals and then like you basically switch them up with flavors, right? To keep it consistent, keep it easy so that you don't get off track. And like we've been able to keep that up. Our butcher box helps with that. And we just basically make a whole bunch of beef and like have that for lunch. And so literally it's like kind of getting like
yeah, I mean it keeps things simple because we don't have to think about it too much. But yeah, you reach that point where I'm like, I don't want that tonight. Like last night we had fish and Brussels sprouts and like amazing. It's filling. It's delicious. But I'm like, I just want the pizza tonight. But anyways, I've been really conscious and working hard, but I haven't lost any more weight. And that's where I was like, dang, I initially dropped like 6 pounds, but I just completely plateaued. And for me, I'm still at a heavier weight than I've ever carried before, but I feel amazing. And I feel like my body looks good. I feel strong. But it is still discouraging when you're just like, dude, why can't, and I know I have more muscle on me. I get all of that. But I'm like, why can't I break this threshold? And honestly, I probably could if I was willing to go even more, but I'm not.
Dude, you are at bare minimum calorie-wise.
I mean, yeah, I can probably lay out. I've been having a lot of chocolates at night. That's like my thing. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
A lot of chocolate. You have 2 squares.
Sometimes I have 4.
Whoa. 4 squares.
Yeah, but quite often.
Okay.
Anyways, whatever. I'm happy with the lifestyle I'm living right now, and I'm not really willing to do anything different. Like, I'm very content. I feel really good. I feel strong. I can tell how much stronger I am in the gym. Like I feel amazing. I look in the mirror. I look amazing. So that's what matters. But for whatever reason, we still get on that scale and feel frustrated sometimes. 'Cause I'm just like, what the fuck? This isn't reflecting how I feel and what's normal for like me and my body. But also, when's the last time I have weighed 135, which is my quote unquote normal goal weight? I don't know. So like maybe that's just not my new normal anymore for whatever reason. You know what I mean?
Because it's all about how you feel and how you feel about yourself in the mirror and your clothes fitting and like
I know.
energetically. And so it's like you've been fixated on this number. And
So have you, bro.
No, I'm not.
You just said, I don't know why I feel amazing, but then I look in the mirror and then I'm like, what is all of this even for? You literally said that last night.
I had a weak moment where I was just like...
Because the scale wasn't moving. But then the other day...
I dropped a pound.
You were literally doing like nude photo shoots in the mirror, like showing off your body.
Yeah.
Which were hot, by the way. But I was... So like...
And it was even better
like,
this morning. So
oh, did you do another photo shoot?
It was just for myself.
Did you take pictures?
No.
Just okay.
Yeah.
So anyways,
But it also is a joke about the kissy lips in the mirror
Yeah, it's
photo with like
hilarious.
guys
Obviously,
like really
like-
like why?
and nobody thinks that's hot. Like
Right.
I think you're hot as my husband.
Well, thank you.
Obviously. But if you were not my husband, if you and I were just like dating or something, and even though you looked hot in that picture, and I'm like, dang, like my husband's fucking hot. If you would have taken that picture, a mirror selfie, and sent that to me, I would have been repulsed and never talked to you again.
Oh, interesting.
I think I don't ever want to see a man do that.
I agree.
Or I'm not into women doing that. It's not my thing. I think it's douchey, and I'm like, ew. Like I would automatically get the ick. Because I'm like, what are you trying to do here? Like, oh, cool?
Turn you on.
You already turned me on.
Right. But
Does the opposite. That makes me, you're giving douche ick vibes.
Okay.
Guys, if you're doing it, stop. No girl fucking likes it. It's disgusting.
You're going to go out there and say that no girl in the world likes
No,
it.
I'm not saying no girl. Probably.
You just said that.
Okay, there's probably some people who do. I feel like majority of girl talk that I have, which is a lot, and just like listening to like podcasts and stuff, for the most part, it feels like women do not find that to be sexy. They find it to be a turnoff.
Okay.
Even if you have the sexiest body, if you have 12 pack, and you're like, yeah, you look good, but there's just something douchey about a man looking in the mirror, giving a kiss face, showing his abdomen and like the V to the D, and like sending that to you.
Okay.
But as my husband,
Not where I was going with
But
this
as my
conversation.
husband,
I mean, it
if
literally
you-
started with pizza to like douchey.
as my
V to
husband,
the
if
D
you
pictures.
sent that to me and you were like, hey, can't wait for you to get home, I would be like, fuck yeah. Like, I'm going to
it's
ride
in the
this horse tonight.
It's on the context then.
Yes, don't do it if you're dating. That's what I was saying.
Well, what if you were sexually active dating and I sent that to you when we were dating instead of just a picture with no words? So
Okay.
is that what it is?
I think no, that's fair. If you're already in a good relationship where you know each other, so I already know you're not a douche. But if it was like the first couple of dates and I didn't really know you that well, and now you're sending me these,
So that's-
I would be like, what a douche.
Hashtag context, dude.
Or like if I was lurking on your Instagram and all of your pictures were you in the mirror,
Okay.
or lifting weights at the gym, like holding like there's so many guys who do that. That is so douchey and disgusting.
But what if you're trying to like weasel into the fitness world with like personal training and stuff like that?
Okay, obviously that's different.
Well, you're generalizing this conversation, and so I'm just trying to be like,
There's a lot of nuance here.
just like with everything in the world.
Yes, if you're a personal trainer, that's different and you're promoting your business. If you're just like a normal Joe Schmo picking up a 10-pound weight and flexing in the mirror and like doing like a winky face and like you're putting that up on your social media because you think it looks hot, please know that it doesn't.
Right, but we also come from the generation that we know nothing about online dating, and nor would we ever like excel in that world, and so nor would I ever want to be in that world. So it's one of those things of like, that's kind of the flow, right? Like,
I don't know.
sexually
No.
you draw the eye of somebody and then you're not a douche, but like, or does that already pre-douche you?
if you're yeah, I find it to be douchey. To be honest, if you have social media at all, I find you to be douchey.
Okay. This is coming from somebody that built an entire business off social media.
No, I'm talking about a guy. Like if your pictures on your Instagram are like you like hiking or like on the top of a mountain.
That's what you like,
or with your friends, or like you're out having a beer, or you're traveling somewhere cool. Like I like
Holding
that.
a pug?
Yes. If all of your content is like quote unquote sexy pictures of you in a mirror, that's gross. Does that make sense?
I mean, yeah, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
My opinion.
Right, but it's also right.
I would never, ever, ever talk to you.
I get it, but that is just your preference.
Yeah, and I find most women feel that way. That they think that like guys that do that kind of stuff are not attractive.
Most women in your world.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
So, right. Okay, just wanted to be clear with how this is coming out.
Okay, as a man, do you think that's probably so different, obviously, from a guy's perspective, but like if you and I were first started dating and you were trying, like we all lurk each other on social media to get like a vibe. You didn't know me that well. You came to my Instagram. I'm going to give you two options. The first option is me like hiking and camping. I'm with friends. Like you can tell I'm adventurous. You can tell I like to travel. Like you can tell like I'm fun and whatever. Like you can get a sense of personality through the pictures and the content that I'm sharing. Like, oh, she looks like she's into a lot of cool stuff. Like I dig that. Versus you come to my Instagram and just say I have all these like hot, sexy pictures of me in like a thong and a bathing suit and showing my ass, showing my abs. Like it's very sexual. And that was it. Would you be like, yeah, she's sexy? Versus would you rather see how like cool I am?
No.
Or do you want to just see pictures of my ass? Wouldn't you be like, okay, she's a little...
Obviously, you choose option one, right? Because that's one, what I'm into. Two, if there was a sprinkle of like health and fitness or sexy like photo doesn't hurt anything. If
Right.
it's like everything is that, problem, right? Not my thing. Next, right? But if it's like hiking, brewery, like beach with friends, like doing all these different things, right? Beach bar, like martinis dressed up, like cool, like you can kind of see like the whole gantry of what you do, and then it's like, oh, you're in the gym, holy shit, and you do all that and you look that great, like that's amazing.
Right.
So I don't think that it's one picture or two or three is a turn off rather than the entire feed.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's my answer.
Okay.
Can we talk about the pizza, bro?
No, I haven't even gotten to what my fucking trainer said to me today.
Oh, okay. Well,
which was the whole dang point
Okay.
of this whole conversation.
Jesus.
Okay?
Sure.
Anyways, I would just like to say that, never mind, I won't say it. So, we finished our class, my Legree class, and which I love, and honestly, I'm crushed to leave Charleston just because I love this gym so much, and there's not a lot of Legree studios. If anyone's looking for a freaking business opportunity,
Jack's Beach.
open up a Legree studio. It's like popping, it's up and coming. Like my teacher's training people all over the country. She's
All over the
incredible.
world. She just went to Thailand.
Yeah, all over they just opened a Legree in Bangkok and Phuket.
Nice.
So anyways, it's up and coming, and it's an incredible workout. And so anyways, we get done with the class, and I'm like walking out, and my teacher was like, Kim, I just want to tell you, like, your body looks amazing, and I have seen such a transformation in your body and like your strength from when you first started, and like you look amazing. And I was like, thank you. Like, and she just said that. Like, I was literally walking out. She said it in front of the whole class, which was only 5 people. But I was like, I don't know. It made me feel really good. I was like, somebody noticed.
No, totally. And like 2 days ago, some guy followed me out of Orange Theory.
Now, of course, we have to come back to you instead of you giving me a compliment.
I already just said how amazing you look, and we talked about that and how like amazing that feels. And I was just reiterating the fact that it does feel good because you can get in your head about the weight, even me. And then when somebody that you don't even know or really like are involved with on a day-to-day per se makes a comment like that, she didn't have to say that. So obviously it was enough for her to notice, enough for her to like make a statement, right? Which is really cool. But like some guy just pulled me on. He's like, hey man, like if I drink protein shakes after Orange Theory, can I look like you too? And I just started laughing, and it was just like a really cool feeling. We just started talking about, like, he asked me what we do and like how do we get to this stage and blah blah blah, and I was just like,
we're so happy.
but it's such a cool feeling.
No, it's the best feeling
Like,
ever.
I mean, even when we were running a personal training business, nobody asked me what we do for our diets.
I mean, we were in the best shape of our
We
lives
were,
then, though.
but I think
honestly.
that's just a given.
Yeah, like I think we were just a walking, breathing sex show.
Okay.
Like when I look back, which is so funny, when I look back at that time and I look at ourselves, again, this was what, 10 years ago, so I mean, we're older too. But I'm like, we looked so good. Like we were also running so much, so I feel like we were just like in the best shapes of our life.
Well, we were running in the morning and then leading workouts at night.
Yeah.
And so we would do the workouts with them. So it was like 2 workouts a day,
we were freaking
weights
hot.
and running. It was like, and we were eating right.
Oh my gosh, we were like so freaking hot.
I know. Anyway,
Pizza. So, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so when we switched into this, kind of healthier eating, we had noticed that we would do really well for 2 or 3 days, and then we would do Boboli or order a pizza and do a Caesar salad and like gelato and all this kind of crazy stuff. And so then we would feel crappy the next day. And so one of our friends, Brooks, sent us this website of this guy that does like macros. And so macro recipes.
That was a different guy. Oh, yeah. Never mind. Go ahead.
And so he sent us this homemade cottage cheese based crust, which you're literally making from scratch with like cottage cheese and gluten-free like flour. We use somalina, which adds a little crunch to it, and it's like 600 calories for the whole thing. It's insane.
And there's so much protein.
60 grams of protein.
Yeah, 60. Yeah, and we just put so Aaron and I do different sides. I'll just do a little bit of cheese.
I've been doing the same amount of cheese as you.
You'll do like a whole thing.
No, I won't.
Okay. And it takes what, 10 minutes? It's not like that big of a process. I don't know. You always do the crust.
It's like a 20-minute complete process.
Okay. It is amazing. Honestly, it's the best pizza I've ever had. And there's no crap in it. We've obviously made it from scratch. Obviously there's still, it's the cheese and you're still getting like the carbs and the calories and stuff. I mean, you're still eating a pizza, right? But I feel full. Like I'll have 2 pieces and be full, like legit full. Like I cannot have any more. And I don't feel that like sick feeling after you eat like a New York pie that we get delivered or something, which is also amazing. But this it gives me a fix because we're like big pizza people. Like it's not about, cookies or donuts or like Mexican food. Like for me, it's like I need my pizza. Like I like to have pizza like once a week. Mm-hmm. I just do. It's like our special treat on Sunday. We'll watch a movie and have pizza, or Friday.
Or Thursday or Friday. Or
yeah. Like it's our go-to. Like we love a pizza and a Caesar salad.
2 nights in a row.
We did. And so this is a really great option. His name it's like the Flexible Dieting Coach or something on Instagram. He's got like different recipes and stuff. Anyways, so Aaron's going to make me that tonight while I sit on the couch. Right?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I was just saying that. I didn't expect you to.
Yep.
Or
But Kim's going to go to the store for all this stuff.
Instacart.
Sure.
Really?
I mean, either
I
way.
could just go. It's fine.
I mean, the only thing is the romaine, which
I know. I have to go.
you can either trust
Are
them
we doing
or...
a Caesar?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, you dirty dick.
Of course we are.
We are?
Yes.
I love that you're so confident about that.
Oh yeah, done. I'm not having that pizza without a
But I'm
Caesar.
gonna eat a whole bag of croutons.
Well, then don't.
That's my other vice, croutons.
Okay.
No, like if people are like, I want a bag of like ruffled chips or like, I don't know, what do people, Doritos, like people eat weird stuff. Or like I'm like, give me a bag of croutons. That's it. Like that's
I love
that's my
how
happy
you
place.
claim that everybody that eats Doritos is weird, but you could eat a whole bag of
But
croutons.
that's what I was just saying. To me, that's like Doritos, like Funyuns. Like no, get you some croutons, and people are like, that's not a chip.
I've literally.
But I love it.
It's kind of strange though, just on that subject, that like I can only eat Pringles in Bali.
Yeah.
And they are like the best Pringles ever.
Yep.
And then the Doritos in Patagonia, like when you're on the trail and you get them at the refugios, literally is like my excitement.
Yeah, because you're eating slop. So that feels exciting.
Dude, there's nothing better than a beer and a Doritos after a hike that day. Like, oh my God.
A beer sounds so good right now. And
Get in the car.
I'm
Get in
not-
the car.
I'm not
Get in
a
the car.
beer person.
Get in the car now.
I'm not a beer person. But
Let's go to Fife right now. Let's go.
I wonder because I've been like planning Portland and it's a big beer place that I'm like, it sounds so like refreshing.
Let's go get a couple beers at Fife and we'll go to the store.
Babe.
You wanted to sit outside today and just kind of like unwind. Like, let's go have a flight and then we'll go.
That was hours ago.
Okay. We had to get the podcast done.
Well, we did. I think we're done here.
Yeah, we're done here. We're just like, who knows
This
what.
is going nowhere.
No.
It probably hasn't even recorded, so that's fine.
It's recording.
Oh.
We're good. I've been watching.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this riveting episode.
Oh man, just takeaways.
And next time, we will be coming to you from Florida. Actually,
From Florida?
oh my God, no, we'll be on the road. We leave Wednesday. We'll get to Florida on Thursday. So
We might do it Wednesday night in the hotel.
we should do like a one in the car.
Ooh, that's fun.
That's different. Maybe we'll do one in the
We
car.
can do that because I can use these mics and we can hook it up to the phone
Okay. It's kind of fun.
and record it.
All right, let's see how it goes. But regard, we'll see you in Florida.
Maybe like carpool karaoke.
Well, no one wants to hear us sing, but
Maybe.
maybe me
Oh,
with my
okay.
throat singing.
Yes, you should do your throat singing.
Did you hear that? On the
I
spot.
literally can't wait. You're doing that on the microphone with Rizal, and then he's going to record it and then play a song with you as the throat singing.
Oh my God, yes. He could remix Ariel.
Will you do that?
Yeah,
Your
100%.
throat singing, and then
100%.
he can record it and play something
Oh, 100%.
for his break?
I feel like that will be his big break. That song. No, that song. That song is going to put him on the international level.
All
Can
right,
you imagine?
I'm going to call you out, and you're going to come up, and you have to do it on command. So you need to be practicing. And then you do that, and then he can record it and loop it, and then play something around it.
Okay, done.
All
Stay
right.
tuned, guys.
Dude, Travsessed Bali. Kim's throat singing appearance.
Be there, be square. The trip will happen in March. Be on the lookout on April 9th or August 9th for the Travsessed launch week. It's like not Shark Week. It's like launch week.
Exactly, that was my thought.
Yeah, so sign up for Bali.
You're very toothy.
Yeah, I am. You have no teeth, so.
Bali, March 10th through the 23rd.
I don't fucking know the dates.
Yep. All right, we're out.
All right, bye.